Hello, hello. Welcome to Love Chat with the Love Twins, beautiful ladies. I'm very excited to be here with you tonight. And I want to talk about a subject that can bring up a lot of emotions at this time of the year. You know, we're coming into holiday season here in the States and around the world. And for some of you, the holidays are beautiful. The holidays are beautiful. You love them. They feel great. And for others, the holidays, they feel heavy. And maybe for some of you, it feels a little bit of both. It feels a little heavy and a little bit beautiful. So I want to talk to you about this because this season can bring up a lot of emotions. So tell me in the chat, does it feel heavy, happy, or both? Heavy, happy, or both this time of year for you? And, you know, as always, we just encourage a lot of honesty here because the more connected I am with what's really real for you, the more I can bring some training and coaching that's going to make a difference. Yeah, great topic, right? Just in time. So I'm seeing both. Yeah, I can bring up both. So no matter which one it is for you, happy, heavy, or both, what I know to be true is something that this is something that high achieving women really don't admit. They don't admit it out loud. Because the holidays, they just make it impossible to avoid the parts of you, I should say of your love life, that bring up some pain for you, that still hurt. It can bring up disappointment. It can bring up loneliness. It could bring up wondering, is it going to happen for me? And it could even bring up the fear of maybe it's too late. So if you're feeling any of that, and even if you're feeling happy, which is awesome, but you still feel that little tinge in your heart around going into the holidays, yes, with your family surrounding you, and not with the person whose hand you want to be holding. If you're feeling any of that, I want you to know that it doesn't make you weak. And it doesn't mean that you're not worthy or that you can't have the love that you want. Why that feels the way it feels, that pain, is because the holidays, this season, it magnifies what's missing. So we saw this a lot during COVID-19, the pandemic. People were very busy in their lives and they were going about doing whatever they were doing. And when everything stopped, and things tend to get busy, but they also tend to slow down with vacation, and our schedules change a little bit. And what happens is it magnifies what's missing. It makes it seem bigger because you're seeing couples holding hands. You're getting invited to gatherings where everybody else seems to have a +1. And people, even with the best intentions, ask you, so are you seeing anyone yet? Or, hey, how come no one has snatched you up yet? And even if you smile on the outside, which I used to do, on the inside, there's this little sting. Or for some of you, it might show up like a shutdown, or you want to run away, or the wall that's there seems to get a little higher. So just tell me in the chat, have you ever had to push down those feelings, whether it's in the holidays or otherwise, and act like it doesn't matter to you that you are spending the holidays alone, even though it does? Go ahead and put in the chat. Because if you've ever felt that way, you're in the right place. This is the love chat you want to be listening to, and you may even want to share it with other women in your life that are also going through the same experience. So tonight we're shifting from holiday dread and disappointment and that loneliness that can come up into how to experience the holidays with clarity, with power, and emotional freedom, where you don't have to push anything down, you don't have to push anything away, you don't have to build walls up, and you don't have to pretend anything. Because when you understand why the holidays activate those old love wounds, then you finally gain some power to heal that. And you can do that not, someday, not next year, not after the holidays. You could begin right now. So let me get into why the holidays can hurt so bad. So the holiday seasons are picture like an emotional amplifier. And as I was saying before, it magnifies everything. It can magnify the joy and the connection you feel with some people. It can also magnify the stress. It can magnify longing. It can magnify loneliness. And for those of us who are high achieving women and we're used to being able to produce the results that we want in other areas of our lives, including and especially our careers, there's an extra layer because you spend the entire year being strong, managing your career, managing your life, showing up for other people, keeping it all together. So when the holidays come and things slow down and get quieter, your heart gets louder. And it really does feel that way. And if you find yourself becoming more emotional around the holidays, again, I'm going to reemphasize, it's not weakness. What it is unprocessed emotion rising to the surface because the pace around you is slowing down. And you're paying attention to something that you may not have all the time in the world to pay attention to. Or maybe it's not as obvious as it is during the holidays. And the reason that it hurts is that the holidays also activate your attachment patterns. So the attachment patterns are those young parts of you that still remember what it felt like to feel like you were being left out, or you were different than everybody else, or you didn't feel like you were being chosen for the team or the party or the sleepover or the guy. Or maybe those parts of you, those younger parts of you that felt like you weren't seen and acknowledged and waiting for love to show up. And it didn't. So the holidays can trigger the places where you've been disappointed before. And there's an even deeper truth I want to go into. And it's that high achieving women, instead of just allowing our hearts to break open so that we can deal with the emotion, we don't break down, we armor up. So consider that you armor up, you get busier, you start to distract yourself, you become unbothered, unreachable when it comes to your emotions. And you tell yourself that it doesn't matter, but your heart knows better. Your heart always knows better. So let me ask you another question. And again, just to ask for honesty, is, you know, when you do that thing where some of you said, yes, I pretend like it doesn't bother me. What does that feel like inside when you're pretending that something that bothers you or that you're uncomfortable with or that you wish nobody would ask you about doesn't get to you and it does? What does it feel like when you inside, when you're acting like it's not? Because I'm saying your heart knows better. So you may be saying something, projecting something on the outside, but if you check in on the inside, there's something that starts to happen, and that will create a break in you being honest with yourself and you being able to trust what you tell yourself. And when that happens, you start to question other things about yourself. So it becomes like this vicious cycle. Yeah, so I feel like I get smaller. Thank you for your honesty. So the bigger the pretense, the bigger the space between you and your true self. It's like fake it till you make it without the make it ever happening yet. Yeah, but it does feel like that. And if you fake it here, then it starts to create a doubt in what you can actually accomplish. And in many cases, what we've seen in the years that we've done coaching with the many thousands of women at this point that we've been able to support is that the more you doubt that, it starts to trickle into other areas. And then that's when you start to believe that you can't have what you want, that there must be something wrong with you. But none of that is true. And that pretending, that fake it till you make it, that saying one thing when you really feel something else, it's a survival strategy. And it's probably been with you for a really long time. But here's what I want you to hear. that armor, that same armor that you think protects you, is also blocking the love, the connection, and the safety that you want to experience. And this is why the holidays feel so painful. Not because you're alone, and not because that's true, that you're going to be alone forever, but because you're disconnected from the part of you that wants to be held, part of you that wants to be supported, the part of you that wants to be honest with yourself. And that part of you that keeps waiting for someone outside of you to choose you. So that's one of the patterns, the self-protecting, the armoring up. And then there's another pattern. So we don't break down, we armor up, but we also don't break down, you power through. While everyone else is slowing down, you speed up. You fill your calendar, you say you're focusing, I'm focusing on myself. You stay hyper independent, very, very busy. And all of that is in an effort to keep you from feeling lonely. But does it really work? Or did you just become exhausted? So here's why this matters. Your guard, that same guard that keeps you productive, also keeps you unavailable. And I mean emotionally unavailable, energetically unavailable, vibrationally unavailable. So even if you're out there and you're around other people, or maybe you're dating, or you're on the apps, you're going out, your heart is still behind this wall. You're there, but there's something that's closed off. And this is very important to get, because these are things that happen subtly and at the subconscious level, and you don't realize it. And if you don't bring some awareness to it, then it feels like the pretense is working, but it's really not. So you're there, but you're not open. Your heart's not open. You're showing up, but you're really not 100% available. You're trying, but you're not receiving. And what's happening is the men who are emotionally available, they can feel that wall. They can feel it. And when they feel it, that unavailability, that distancing, that something being covered up, they may not know exactly what it is, but what happens is they don't even try, because that's not the vibe they want to be in. That's not the frequency that they're in. And then the other thing that happens is that the men who are unavailable, they love and are super attracted to women who have walls up. Because if you have a wall up and you're not fully showing up, that means they don't have to show up either. Tell me if this resonates. Type it in the chat. Go ahead and type in the chat. What are you hearing? So Patrice, to answer your question, the first one was armoring up, and then this one is you become protective. You protect yourself and power through. Okay. So yeah, I get it. So what are you getting though? I want to hear, what are you starting to see? Because you're either going to be available, fully available, emotionally present, honest with yourself, work through what there is to work through, so that you don't have that wall and that pretense up, and then you have a shot at attracting somebody who's also present, also honest, also available, or you're going to keep powering through and shutting down your real emotions, and you're going to keep attracting people who they're attracted to that because they're in the same space. They don't want to be with a woman who's fully present and shows up and is honest, because they're not there themselves. So you become a match for whatever's really going on inside. Yeah, so protective by being busy is something that you do, then now there's something to look at there. Because for sure it takes your mind off of things, but it's not going to really heal what needs to be healed, and it's not going to really resolve what gets to be resolved if you're just powering through and armoring up. Okay. All right. Now, let's go to this next piece here. So this piece here about the emotionally available men feeling the wall and being repelled by that, and the ones who are unavailable being attracted to that, is really important, because what you'll start to notice is when you're in this place of protecting and pretending, men who are wrong for you start pursuing you harder than the ones who are right for you and you say you want to be in a relationship with. This is very important to get. And it's not a coincidence that that's happening, because your emotional guard, whatever that is, that protective wall, that filter that comes up, that becomes your love filter. And the holiday seasons triggers those old wounds, which triggers your guard, puts your guard up, which attracts the wrong kind of men, which confirms the old limiting belief and the wound. And then you're in this cycle that just keeps repeating over and over again. But there is a way to break the cycle. So let's talk about, how do you break that cycle? If you want all of this to shift, the pretending, the avoiding people asking you anything, the heaviness, the attracting the wrong kind of men, then hear me when I say this. It's possible to heal this kind of pattern before New Year's. And you can absolutely shift who you've been attracting and walk into the next holiday season as a completely different woman. And it starts with 3 powerful decisions. The first decision is to tell yourself the truth. And that can feel easier said than done, but it is the most important one. It starts there. You got to tell yourself the truth about what you're really feeling and what it really feels like, not the polished up, I'm fine version, but the real truth. Because you cannot heal what you don't acknowledge, or you won't acknowledge. So let's start by telling the truth. What's one emotion the holidays bring up for you that you usually hide until now? You've been hiding until now. Go ahead and type it in the chat. Because this is an example of you telling the truth and not hiding. I know it takes a few seconds for me to see what you write, but go ahead and write it. And this is all practicing, because we don't want these love chats or any of the work that we do to be just theory. Theory without practice is just an idea. Theory with practice becomes reality. Okay, so one of the things, thank you, Marilyn. So feeling lonely. So feeling lonely, pretending like you don't. Thank you for that truth. Powering through. When it really does hurt, when it really does bother you. You just told the truth. So that's the first step. Not feeling worthy. That's the first step, telling the truth. Doesn't make it real, doesn't mean that that's the truth. That's the truth you tell yourself. That's the truth about how it feels. But that's not what's true in reality. It's just that's what you're feeling. So have the courage to say that. You want to attract the man who tells you the truth, who opens up his heart, who's vulnerable with you. You got to start being that way with yourself. Okay. So feeling discouraged. Yeah. What it feels like to be without someone to celebrate the seasons with. I'm not sure, Fortulus, what you're saying. I'm not sure what project you're talking about. All right, maybe there some clarity will come through. All right, so the first decision is tell yourself the truth. The second is lower the emotional guard and be gentle about it and also intentional about it. So I'm not talking about collapsing. Like, you don't have to, a lot of people think that, if you're being vulnerable, that means that everything has to come out and you wear your heart on your sleeve and every hurt you ever had, you need to feel it. No, you don't have to collapse to lower your guard. You don't have to overshare. You don't have to force vulnerability, because that would be more the pretending. What you can do is lower your guard and allow yourself to be supported. Allow yourself to feel some pleasure in the holidays, even though you might feel lonely. And allow yourself to feel connected to people beyond your relationship status. So ask yourself this: what have I been blocking that I'm going to give myself permission to receive? What have you been blocking that you're going to give yourself permission to receive? Maybe it's peace of mind. Maybe it's joy. Maybe it's connection. Maybe it's support. Maybe, what is it that you want to open yourself up to? Even if all you're ready to receive is 5% more, that you're going to open yourself up, because it's in that opening where the real you gets to show up. And he can't find you, recognize you, fall in love with you if the real you's not there. All right. So joy, connection, joy. Okay, keep them coming in the chat. All right, so that's the second decision. Allow yourself to lower the emotional guard. And then the third decision you can make is choose the kind of love you want to attract so that your energy aligns. Because if you're still attracting men who are inconsistent, men who lie, men who ghost, they're here one day, they're not, they don't follow through, men who are emotionally unavailable, so they don't share their feelings, you feel like it's pulling teeth trying to get them to share an emotion, or a man who breadcrumbs you, which he just gives enough to keep you thinking he's interested, and then he pulls away, and then he comes back and drops a little bit more and pulls away. Or maybe you've been attracting men who come on really, really strong and then they disappear. It's not that there's something wrong with you, because there's nothing wrong with you. It is because your patterns are choosing for you. So what I mean by that is, if you're in a pattern where you aren't, for example, giving yourself compassion, being compassionate with yourself and understanding with yourself, you're going to attract somebody who's not available for that either, because you would be a match for that. If you're attracting people who tell you what you want to hear, but then they don't follow through, it's because you're in that pattern as well. So what shows up on the outside is a reflection of what's really going on the inside. So knowing how to be able to be open and honest with yourself and tell the truth, knowing how to lower your guard so you can actually show up for real, and then choosing the kind of love that you want from the inside out, those three decisions make a really big difference. And you get to stop allowing your wounds to choose your partners for you. You get to stop allowing your wounds to tell you what's possible for you. You get to choose. So tell me, in one word, what do you want this next holiday season to feel like? Even right now, whether you have a partner or not, what do you want it to feel like? What are you bringing from the inside out so that you can experience that, so that you can attract it, so that you know what it feels like and you can recognize it when it's showing up on the other side? Because if you don't feel it and give it to yourself, or you only give it to others, it'll be lacking here and it's going to be lacking in what you can attract. So what do you want it to feel like? Type it in the chat. And this is the work that we do. All the work that we do, and all the women who've been able to attract their boyfriends and partners and their husbands, many of them within 3 to 9 months because of the work that we do, it's because this is the work. It's not the latest tip or trick. It's not about trying to get somebody to do something. It's about you being real and healing whatever has you think you have to pretend something else, or that you're not enough, or that there's something broken or wrong with you, so that that energy is out of you and you now have energy that attracts what you're feeling on the inside, because you're always attracting that anyway. So we want celebration, excitement, warmth, beautiful. Now, I'm going to tell you one way you can make that a reality. So listen closely. Woman to woman. We're talking woman to woman here. If tonight's conversation stirred up something inside of you, if you felt the truth of what I said in your body, not just in your head, but in your body, in your heart, and if you're done pretending the holidays don't matter, or really pretending anything, and you're done carrying everything, every burden, every disappointment, every hurt around, then the most powerful next step you can take, and this is for those of you who've never spoken to one of our Love Breakthrough coaches, is to book a Love Breakthrough call. Now, if you have had a Love Breakthrough call in the past and you're really ready to take a new step, I mean, like step into something where we can support you, then you can click on that link. But it's not just like a free coaching call. This is for people who really want to shift from the inside out, shift what they've been experiencing, so that a year from now, you're not in the same place you are today, and you're not in the same place you were last year, 3 years ago, 5 years ago. Keep counting backwards. There is a way to shift it. And it doesn't have to take a long time. Like I said, a lot of our clients within 3 to 9 months, they are dating him or in a committed relationship. This Sunday, I will be going to the wedding of one of our clients who met him in September of last year. And here we are in November of the following year and doing the same kind of work, and deeper, of course, that we're talking about here, but at a very deep level. She's now walking down the aisle, and I get to experience that, and going with Arnie and Gladys and Rick, and that's priceless for us. Yeah, Tanya, getting rid of that negative thought. I mean, it is going to keep running you until you learn how to interrupt it, until you heal whatever is driving that. So you can click on the link and schedule your Love Breakthrough call. Not later, do it now. One of the patterns you might have is that you keep putting things off, hoping that they get better. Well, have they? And I'm not trying to be a negative Nelly here. I'm just being honest with you, because people in your life will tell you what you want to hear so you feel better. I want you to feel what you really feel so that you can have a better experience of yourself and of your life for real. So again, this isn't a casual chat. This is not a sales call disguised as support. This coach is going to talk to you and they're going to ask you, what is going on? What do you want to shift? And then they're going to offer you what you can do to shift it. And if they feel that there's something that we offer that will make a difference for you, they're going to share that with you. And if that scares you, then don't book the call, because that tells me that what you have is a wish and not a real desire. But if you have something that's deeper than a wish, or a hope that it turns around by itself, and you want to be in the driver's seat of your love life, book the call. This is a high-level coaching session that they're going to help you identify the exact pattern that's blocking love. So those thoughts that Tanya was talking about, there's something that's driving that and drives the pattern of continuing to attract the same kind of guy in a different body, the same kind of relationship in a different time of your life. So what's the pattern that's blocking love? What's the emotional guard that's keeping that love out? What is it that's activating your deepest attachment wounds And then what is the roadmap to get through not just the holidays, but beyond the holidays? So imagine walking into next year with a very clear blueprint on what your steps are to take to heal those emotional wounds, to drop that guard, to let the truth come out, to allow yourself to be seen and known for who you really are and not who you've been pretending to be or not be. Having crystal clear clarity on the kind of relationship that you want to experience and know how to attract that kind of relationship and the kind of man that would be in that relationship with you. Walking into next year knowing these are the patterns that I'm breaking and these are my new patterns. And a very clear path to the love that you want. Most women don't have a love problem. They have a clarity problem. When you're unclear, you attract whatever's a match for whatever it is that you're thinking and feeling and believing and being out there in the world. And when that same woman gains clarity, she becomes unstoppable in her love life as well as in her career. What we call simply irresistible. Men cannot resist that way of being that comes up when the pretense and the armor drop, and who really shows up is her real, true self. So I'm speaking directly to the woman who looks like she has it all together and secretly hates the question, are you seeing anyone yet? She doesn't want another November, December, January, or February to come by hoping that it'll be different. Feeling hopeful and looking hopeful on the outside, but feeling empty on the inside. I'm speaking to the kind of woman who you have success in every area of your life except your love life, and you really want that. And to the one who knows that she's meant for more. She's meant for real, extraordinary love, mature love, consistent, and emotionally safe love. So if that's you, it's time. This is your turning point. Click on the link that we dropped in the chat, book your love breakthrough call, and make the decision that next holiday season, you will not be explaining why you're still single. You'll be showing up with a full heart, a relationship that's aligned, and a love that feels real. So the moment you book the call, the moment you make that decision, everything shifts. And I can't wait to support you in creating the love that you've been carrying around in your heart that deserves to be expressed and shared with someone magnificent as you are. All right, so that's it for today's Love Chat. Click on the link, book your call, and we'll be back here next Tuesday for Love Chat with the Love Twins. It's been such a great opportunity to be with you tonight. And until our hearts meet again, always remember that you are loved. Goodbye for now.